1819. How did we come up with that name?
Well, 1819 is the year that Memphis was founded.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Joseph shaking his head because I know he knows. Damn, Joseph knows everything about wrestling.
I don't know everything.
If I
I'm
ever go,
close.
I know we're a wrestling show right now, and Walker, I understand this is your time, but if I'm ever on some type of game show that I get a lifeline, by God, Joseph's going to be my first phone call or whatever, because he knows it all. Randy Cunningham, get us back on track.
Hey, I just want to bring in, and I'm almost scared of him a little bit. So if I'm intimidated, y'all just keep me calm here. But the man Walker 13, how was the Memphis Made Monster born?
Well, to be honest with you, I grew up watching a lot of horror movies. That was really all I watched as a kid. That and old wrestling tapes when I would come across them. So when you're a kid who has nothing to watch but horror movies, you tend to have a different perspective on life. And I feel like that's apparent in everything that I do, and that's why I am who I am now.
You know, one of the first things I said to you, I was looking at your socials and trying to get to know who you were, and the first thing that immediately struck me was these classic horror movies, and then also a love for heavy metal, and that kind of converges at Walker 13. Correct?
That's a great description. I remember when I was 10 years old. My dad bought Ozzy Osbourne's Greatest Hits and Black Sabbath Greatest Hits, and rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne, greatest of
Absolutely.
all time. Um, I'll never forget the way that music hit me, and it just progressed over time. But I've always felt like horror movies and heavy metal go hand in hand, and that's the experience that I try to give off out there because I love heavy metal. Are you a heavy metal guy yourself?
I am the original old man sticking around. Going, saw Maiden back in the day, saw Priest, saw Anthrax, saw it all, and I love it. I love it all. Here's here's a picture. I just was intrigued by this shot, and this kind of it brings the the wrestler, the metal, and all together. What was the occasion for that look, Walker?
Well, that is a look that I would like to call the dead man's party. I bring that out for special occasions, being hardcore matches, title matches. That picture in particular was taken the night that I won this 1819 championship. I faced one of my toughest opponents of all time, the Merc Chris Evans, in a no disqualifications match, and I put him through a table with my finishing move off the top rope. So the paint not only represents a different side of myself, but the lengths that I'm willing to go to put away an opponent. So
And the paint, it becomes something in wrestling, but I think it means something in the metal soul too. I mean, when I see that, I think of King Diamond and all those great. I love King Diamond and just that feeling I get of that music too. And is that part of your You're a big guy too. How big are you, Walker 13?
I'm 6'4" and 290 pounds.
Uh, uh,
I'm the smallest one on the show tonight, guys.
yeah, I made
I,
the
I,
decision here.
I don't know if that's something to brag about, being at 245 pounds. I'm the smallest one on the show or not, but hey.
Uh, d- is that part of your ring presentation? I'll come to you after this, Joseph. Is all right. I'm 6'4", 290. Do you enter the heavy metal?
Yes, my entrance theme is a track called "Soft Spine" by a band called Spirit Box. Um, I've always loved Spirit Box ever since they came out. They started releasing music in about 2017, I think, and I've been following them ever since. And Soft Spine is actually off of their newest album, which is called Tsunami Sea. Now, I'm not getting any kind of endorsement or sponsorship or anything. I just really love the band. And that song really spoke to me because it's hard hitting, it's heavy. And when you hear it, you immediately know that something bad's about to happen.
That's some deep dive metal right there too, brother. I know the band, but I don't know the band. So yes, I've listened a couple of times. So all right, you're 6'4", you're wearing leather, you're entering the soft spine. What is the reaction you get from the crowd mostly when Walker 13 comes into the ring?
Well, honestly, it depends on where I am. In Georgia at 12 gauge up until recently, up until the night that I won this, it's been mostly scared faces and children running away in fear. But in Memphis, they really gravitate towards this character, this being of this entity that has been bestowed upon them. And I think there's something to be said about, because this is who I am, right? Like there's not a whole lot of smoke and mirrors, especially in the landscape of wrestling today. You have to be genuinely yourself in everything that you do. And I think that the Memphis crowd specifically, and now the 12 gauge crowd, is able to see that. And I think that's why they gravitate towards it, which I'm very appreciative of.
How he pointed at me, I got to admit, the whole look, it vibes with me, but it's a little scary, I remember 10-year-old me seeing Ox Baker come to the ring, and I don't know if you know who Ox Baker is.
Oh, I know who Ox Baker is.
Ox Baker scared the living turd out of me. Walker 13, he strikes that same chord with me for some reason. Joseph saved me from this monster before he...
Well, speaking of monsters, coming up August 10th, my birthday, by the way, at 901 Wrestling, you're facing a man who's known for being crazy, known for being extreme, and wants to take you to the limit for that championship, that 18-19 title that you've got around your waist. Mr. Crazy Jack, what would you say to him, sir, tonight?
I've known Crazy Jack for a long time. I say known. I don't think anybody really knows Crazy Jack. Crazy Jack is unpredictable. He is wild. He's violent. But the difference between Crazy Jack and I, which is what I think is going to keep this title around my waist, is I'm able to keep my composure in situations like that. I've been beaten, I've been battered, bruised, but I always come back. I never stay down for too long, and I think that's going to be a problem for Crazy Jack.
I mean, no disrespect by saying this, Walker, and please don't take it the wrong way. Crazy Jack, as you said, is insane. There's no telling what length he is willing to go or what he's willing to do to make sure that he leaves with that title. How can you stop him? How can you make sure that you're going to stop him this weekend?
3 words. Dead man's party.
Ooh, that's interesting, to say the least. And I know that that's a special message just for Crazy Jack as he's here tonight. Also, you've got another title around your waist from the 12 gauge promotions there. And I want you to speak about your journey with that. Let's go all the way back to Rico Bravo. Let's talk about your match with Rico Bravo. How did you win that match? How did it become?
Well, the tournament was announced to crown the first 12 gauge pro heavyweight champion. And I sent in a video explaining how much this meant to me, because this meant the world to me, being the first ever 18-19 champion. And I believe I said the night that I won this for the first time was the biggest night of my career. And a wrestling career is about having bigger and bigger moments throughout your entire career. And this, when it was announced, the tournament for the title, that was my first thought was, how do we make this moment even bigger? This, as soon as I laid eyes on this title, I knew that it was meant for me, that it was my destiny. The match against Rico Bravo specifically, I'd kind of gone in with a bad mindset, of smash and destroy until it came home with me. But at the end of the day, that's not really the mindset that you should have. especially for something as big as this. This is more than just leather and metal. This is the heart and soul of the company, and just like this is. And then I'm sure you saw what happened. Ryan Marks decided to attack me. In that moment, as I was laying there with a separated shoulder, I had an epiphany hit me. I could either continue down the same path that I was going and probably end up with something worse than that, or I could replan, refocus, put my energy into coming back and beating Ryan Marks for this. And that's what I did.
And Walker, also on August 10th, my birthday as well, 12 Gauge Promotions is hosting another show called Blowback, and they're going to be having a brand new number one contender. Are you worried about who that number one contender might be?
I'm going to be honest with you. Whoever it is, they've got some big shoes to step up to. Because if somebody is fighting for number one contendership for this title, then they saw how I won this title in the first place. And they saw the links that I'm willing to go to. So I think that they should be worried, whoever it is, to step up against the Memphis-made monster.
Very interesting you said that. Now, you call yourself the Memphis-made monster. Deep dive into that a little bit. How did you become the Memphis-made monster?
Just growing up, I grew up, in Memphis. It's not easy out here. Nothing about it is easy. And, like I said before, I grew up watching horror movies. As a kid who has nothing else to watch but horror movies, you tend to form your own opinions on life and how it should be. And mainly just having to fend for myself a lot. I was always picked on. I was always bullied. I wasn't always 6'4", 290 pounds. I was little at one point. And kids are mean. Kids are brutal. So it was that combined with the horror movies and learning how to fend for myself all just encapsulates into that. Memphis made me who I am.
That's very interesting. Very, very interesting because, as you said, you weren't always the size that you were. You always had something inside of you, a desire inside of you to be great and to be great at something. And a Memphis-made monster, a monster who got tired of being bullied and picked on and tired of being destroyed and tore down literally day in and day out. And it turned something on the inside of you. It almost made you a serial killer inside the ring. That's the best way to put it.
Hey, I'm not admitting to anything on here.
I wouldn't either. Let's go to Howie, guys.
Got a couple of comments will pop up. Tommy Jack says, this Sunday versus Crazy Jack going to be ... insane.
Jeremy Walker, Tommy Jack's great guy. Sorry, continue.
No, go ahead. Jeremy York, Walker is incredible and still scares me a little. Randy, are you posing as Jeremy York too? Still scares you a little?
Hey, look, I would be lying when I told y'all we wouldn't bringing in a monster into this podcast tonight. So, I'm 6'4", 340, but I'm pretty sure about 70 of mine is pure fat. So, I'm a little scared. I'd make a good snack.
Hey, don't worry, guys. I don't bite.
Yeah.
Tommy Jack's a real monster. Is what his comment. Walker, you talking about Walker 13? You're talking about horror movies and all that. I want to get to know you just a little bit. What's your favorite horror movie?
Favorite horror movie? That's a solid question. It's between Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, and a more recent one, Terrifier 3.
The man pulled out Friday the 13th, Part 8. Yeah, I'm a little more scared. Go ahead, Allie.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I didn't even realize there's 8 movies of Friday the 13th. So,
let's see. And then Jason Hex, Jason Goes to Hell. There's at least 13, 14 of them out there now, including the remake from 2007.
Wow. 12 gauge pro wrestling. No one's ever, and I mean ever, referred to Randall as a snack.
Hey, nobody's ever called me till now either. So
Tommy Jack's just a bunch of laughing emojis. And also, Tommy Jack's, yeah, that Friday the 13th is connected to the Transformer Universe, LOL. So, Randy,
I wasn't aware of that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Randy, could you put that picture up again of him, big size, please?
yeah, yes, sir.
Because it's going to kind of relate to my next question. I look
Hey,
for.
by the way, guys, Tommy Jacks is the promoter of 901 Wrestling in Memphis.
Okay.
Hey, Tommy, hey, there's an open invitation if you ever want to come on the show, Tommy. Come on, let's promote your wrestling a little bit. Is that the one you wanted, Howie?
Yeah, yes, sir. So Walker, go through. I'm curious, how long and how do you get all that paint on? How long does it take, and how do you get it all
on? It takes me about an hour. I kind of just sit down and I think about, like you said, King Diamond and Gene Simmons and just different influences on it, and I just go where the paint takes me. I just let it draw itself out, and that is probably my favorite iteration of that paint. To be honest with you,
that's and you do it yourself.
I do. Yep, I do paint all my own.
Do what, Randy?
I would assume that's post match. The paint's kind of wore down, and the victory has been done.
It is. Yes, that's post match.
Also, wrestling with a tie on, does that not interfere or get in your way every once in a
while? I wear the tie so I can choke people with it during the match. It's more of a tactical thing than anything.
Oh, come on, Walker. That's illegal. We all know it's illegal. You can't use a weapon.
Hey, if I'm wearing the face paint and the shirt and tie, there are no rules.
I heard an announcer say that as long as it's part of your outfit or part of the ring, it's not cheating. It's not illegal to use whatever it is.
That's true. And I brought it with me. The ref can see it.
Let's go through a few more chats and we'll turn it back over to the scared one, Randy over here.
I was trying to find Chris Cross's chat too. So
yeah, I was going to save it for a little bit later on.
Save that one. I want Walker to go through where we contact him to book him and stuff, and that's a good one to lead it. Look, I'm not telling you what to do, Walker. I'm just suggesting. Go ahead, Howie.
So Jeremy York, FT14 Part 8. I may start sitting further from the ring for Walker matches.
That's a smart idea, Jeremy. I'm not saying that I'm going to target you directly. I'm just saying that, sometimes I can't control what happens out there. It's an out of body experience for me at times.
Tommy Jacks, okay, bet. He's talking about Randy, coming on the show. So,
I will find you on Facebook, Tommy Jacks, and we'll get a book date somewhere down the road.
And Tommy Jacks is the man, guys. He's the best.
He's already thanking us for coming on the show.
Our guest list can be eclectic at times. I'll put it that way. So just stay with us before you thank us.
Yep. Ryan Marks, Walker can piss off and stay in Memphis if he knows what's good for him. You know Ryan Marks?
Unfortunately, I do. That's bold words coming from somebody who did everything he could to put me out and still lost.
Wow.
That's a true statement. That's a very true statement, Walker. Everything he could try to do, and nothing worked.
I'll never stay down. And he should know this by now. And honestly, he's lucky that he got away with what he got away with, because I could have done a lot worse.
I ain't touching that. Go ahead. Wait, whoa. Hold on a second. We got a reply. Hope that shoulder is still hurting by Ryan Marks.
Oh my Lord, Brian! Why you got to get him mad when he's on our show?
It feels great. That's why I'm carrying this title on it.
12 gauge pro wrestling. Ryan has his hands full Sunday. Go ahead, Randy.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Walker. Go ahead, man.
I was probably going to say the same thing you were going to say.
Who does he got Sunday? Do you know, Walker?
Chris Crunk. Good friend of mine.
Our friend Chris Crunk. Yeah, he's got his hands full. Walker, you know, I want to get to this Memphis. It's a tough city. And growing up there, the Memphis made monster and being the 18-19 champion. And if I'm wrong, in 901 wrestling, that's directly descended from Memphis Championship Wrestling, we all know. And it's in that line of, you know, the superstar Bill Dundee and Buddy Landale. And, you know, Memphis is the home of great wrestling. How's it feel to be the latest representation of that?
To be honest with you, it's a feeling like no other. You know, back in those days, you know, they built stars, you know, from the ground up at home. You know, and that's what 901 Wrestling does as well. 901 Wrestling, you know, builds stars that people pay to see. And, you know, there aren't a lot of shows in this specific area that are able to do that the way that 901 does. But it goes to show why 901's been the longest running wrestling show, you know, in the area, you know, constantly running shows. Even during the pandemic, they had no crowd studio shows, you know, like they survive and they thrive because they are, in my opinion, the best. And to keep that Memphis wrestling spirit alive is what we've always aimed to do, you know, to make it feel like, you know, so the older people can bring their kids, their grandkids, and they can feel just like they did when they went to the Coliseum, you know, except with a new little modern twist to it, of course.
You know, I grew up in Chattanooga, and we had Memphis wrestling. I grew up, and I'm going to throw a name, and I don't know if you remember him, but your character in toughness almost reminds me of Joe LeDuc, who was the Canadian lumberjack, and you always knew was just crazy enough to hurt you if you went the wrong way.
Oh, for sure. I enjoy watching Joe LeDuc.
And the other hotbed of wrestling that I grew up in at that time was Georgia, with Georgia Championship Wrestling. So now you're in Georgia, so you're in Memphis and Georgia. Those are two. Let me say this right. Those are two founding fathers of Southern style wrestling, states, areas, and you represent and hold championships in both. What does that mean to you?
Honestly, it means more to me than I could ever describe on this podcast. We'd be here all night if I went on about how much it meant to me. To be part of a legacy in wrestling, not only in the town that I grew up in, you know, that already has such a rich history, but to go over into Georgia that has its own wrestling history. I mean, you guys, Dusty Rhodes, you know, Ric Flair had one of his biggest runs in Georgia. The fact that I'm able to carry legacy in both states with these titles, never would have thought, you know, it's something that I never would have thought I'd been able to accomplish, but here we are, and I'm going to hold on to it until the wheels fall off.
Yeah, don't get mad when I say this, Walker, because I don't want you showing up at my house.
You keep saying that over and over again.
I'm scared. I'm just a little bit, okay? I'm just a little scared. Just a little.
Just a little, okay. Just a little.
Maybe a whole lot. I don't know yet.
I told you I don't bite.
You are very young in your career also. And I think a lot of people would be surprised to know your human age, not your spiritual age. How did you begin training, and who was the first ones that started your training?
So I started training in 2014 with a guy named Cody Only. Two guys, Cody Only and Randy King. They taught me a lot. And then I trained a lot with a guy named Motley Cruz. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Motley, but he he is like one of the baddest guys around here. He's wrestled with Ric Flair, and he's had really good career, and I learned a lot from him. And then in 2021, I got to train with Alan Steele and Derek King. These two guys they've been in WWE. They've done spots in WWE. They've worked for OVW. They've been well traveled all over the place, and they just gave me a whole different understanding on ring psychology and why you do the things that you do. So really, those four guys helped me more than I could ever describe, because I was never athletic. I never thought of myself as an athlete. I never played sports in school. Like I told you, I was always off to myself. So getting in there with Motley, he beat me down in the best way possible to get me ready for this. And then Alan and Derek really gave me the fine tuning,
Now, if someone finds your socials out there, which his Twitter follow, folks, is a great follow. Go there to see some great videos. In a few minutes there, you'd realize that you have remade your 290 pounds, 280 pounds. Was that directly related to the training with Motley or Alan? Who was the one that said, "Hey, man, if you want to be great, we got to get you physically where you need to be"?
I don't recall. It's been such a long time since I worked with those guys. I know it was one of them. I do believe that it was Alan who said, if you're going to have longevity in your career, then you need to, fine tune some things here and there, because it's really easy for some, younger guys that get into the wrestling business to want to do everything all the time and, not really take care of themselves. And they end up having shorter careers because of it. And the way that he explained it was that, he felt like I could really succeed if I took care of myself, which is he's 100% correct. Everybody should take care of themselves. So that's why it's kind of fluctuated. But I don't really update it that often. So
I'm going to come to you, Joseph, after this. Memphis at heart. You've said it a couple of times. It's a tough city, and I believe it's a tough city. And growing up in that area, and being we've talked about Memphis wrestling. When you put the name Memphis Made Monster on the front of your pseudonym, was that something you thought about? Hey, I want folks to know this monster grew out of that environment.
Absolutely, because the city of Memphis is what gave me my start, and not only in wrestling, but taught me how to succeed in life as it is. And being from Memphis and wrestling has a little bit of weight to it. So that that combined with the reality of it, it was I couldn't pass it up.
Well, Joseph, my last Memphis memory was on Beetle Street, and I saw a guy beating another guy with a stop sign. So Memphis level of tough. So
I think I still had that stop sign.
I knew I recognized you, but go ahead, Joseph. Take it off.
Well, you said it. You said it best. You said that being from Memphis actually holds a lot of clout on your name, holds a lot of clout in the wrestling business in general. There's a lot of guys who are in the business that get their start in that city or around that city, West Memphis, the Arkansas side or the actual Memphis side. And out of those guys, you've got a lot of them. I mean, of course, the Jarretts, of course, the Lawlers, of course, Dundee, you know all the big names, but a lot of times you don't get to hear some of the smaller names, like you said, Joe LaDuke earlier. You don't get to hear those names very often, but they hold their clout inside of other promotions, especially whenever they went to Portland or they went to, Georgia Championship Wrestling like you've done. You've kind of forged a path making your way into both territories and making it great. I would like to see you come to Tennessee, more into the Knoxville area and work inside the Knoxville area. And for that to happen, we have to know how to book you. Is there a great way to get a hold of you to book you, sir?
Yeah, you can DM me on any social media platform. It'll be the Walker 13, but 13's in Roman numerals, just like my name is. You can DM me on any social media platform. You can send me an email at thewalker13@gmail.com. That'll be in my bio as well. Yep, there's all my social media. You can reach out to me however, and I will respond.
And you have merchandise available as well on Pro Wrestling Tees under Walker 13. And the way you get to that is prowrestlingtees.com/Walker Hayes HK97 is how you want to get to that. And you have all sorts of stuff that's here available for you. So, I mean, if you guys are out there and you're looking for good merchandise, you're looking for a good wrestler to support and get behind, this is the way to do it right here on Pro Wrestling Tees. And I know that everything goes to a good cause whenever you support somebody like this. And if you're looking to get a hold of him directly, you can go to his link tree, which is right here. It's got all of his socials directly up right here for you. So you can click on it and go for it. And under link tree, it's under the Walker 13, followed by a bunch of stuff there. And if you want an easier way to get to it, all you got to do is go to his Facebook page at Walker 13 and look right down for the link right here in the front, and it'll take you directly where you want to go. So you have a lot of stuff that's available for everybody. You have a lot of merchandise that's available for everybody. You have a lot of social medias. So if they want to look, if the bookers want to look at any of your matches like we've got right up here showing currently, you want to look at any footage of you, they want to see your promo pictures, you've got all that ready to go for everybody. So kudos to you, Walker 13, on having everything available.
Thank you. Yeah, I like to put everything out in the open in case, because the way the world is now, everybody's attention span is so small, mine included. So I try to think of things in like a, if I'm gonna click on somebody's social media page, what is the first thing that I would want to see? What's gonna hook me in? So that's why I like having everything out.
And while we're talking about bookings and everything, Chris Cross, question from Chris Cross from Warpath Pro: are you taking any bookings in Pikeville, Tennessee anytime soon?
I would be very open to that. I would love to. I don't have any out that way right now, but send me a message. Let's talk. I'm always open to that.
Sorry, Joseph, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. And speaking of your bookings, we know that you've got 12 Gauge Pro that's available that you're going to be running out regularly. We know you're doing 901. Is there anywhere else that you're running currently that we're not aware of?
It's sporadic, here and there. I do a show called MIW Middleton Independent Wrestling on Friday nights out in Middleton, Tennessee. They're great people. Where else? Just a little bit of everywhere, really. Union City Wrestling up in Union City, Tennessee. I'll be back there next Saturday. Union City, Tennessee, out towards Kentucky. Great show. Like I said, great people. But yeah, other than that, that's about it for right now. But I'd love to make my way to other states.
Hey, and City, the home of Coco Beware, too.
That is true. That is true. Home of Coco, the Birdman.
Seems like we got something else to pull up. We got something else to pull up, Joseph.
Yeah, we've got some Middleton Independent Wrestling, like he was talking about earlier. This is their Facebook page. So whenever he's there, you guys are more than welcome to come on out and be a part of that. And it looks like Friday, August 8th, they've got some shows going on there as well. So you want to reserve your seats now for that, and you can do that directly right there. So good shout out there, Walker 13.
Thank you. Yeah, I love it there.
Awesome. I got a couple questions for you. If you ever had a dream match, you against whoever, past or present, who would it be?
Ooh,
Other
a
than
tough
Randy.
one.
Other than Randy, of course.
Hey, I've already booked. You know how Terry Gordy's held in my guard here. Walker 13 versus a young Terry Gordy. That would be a dream match for me.
Yeah, Terry Gordy's one of the greatest. I have two. I have two. Can I have two?
Hey, you're 6'4" and 300. You can have whatever the heck you want, buddy.
So number one is a wrestler who is retired. But Abyss is always somebody I've looked up to. Abyss and another wrestler who is past, Bray Wyatt. Those are two of my all-time favorites. And,
Monsters Ball?
Any day of the week.
All
Any day of the week. I'm no stranger to thumbtacks. So
And you kind of told about who helped you and everything, but what got you started into wrestling? What made you have a love for the wrestling?
ever since I can remember, I grew up watching it with my dad. That was really, between that and horror movies, there's the only two things I ever had. And that, and I'll never forget, I believe I was 6 years old. My dad had an old tape of Survivor Series 2001. It was the WWF versus the Alliance, and I'll never forget that 10-man. It was the biggest thing in the world to me, and I held on to that, and I just never stopped watching it. Never stopped watching wrestling, and then fast forward to, like I said, 2014. I went to a local wrestling show in a church gym behind a church, and the wrestlers were out doing a meet and greet afterwards. And my friend and I went up and talked to the wrestlers about doing training, and they said they offer training there once a week. So that's what got me into it. I went to training one week, and I just haven't looked back since.
That's awesome. Comment from 12 Gauge Pro Wrestling. I wished I could see if the monster could have took the 12 gauge.
Ah,
Well, you know what? Never say never, Rocky. Never say never.
Chris Cross is replying, Walker, I will be reaching out to you soon. Let's get you to Warpath Pro Wrestling and see where we go.
I'm down. Any day of the week.
Rocky's talking a lot of smack to you for somebody who recently had some heart surgery done. I think he's trying to make a comeback, and I think he wants a piece of you first.
I think I'm the wrong person to approach first about that, but Rocky's brave. If anybody can say anything about Rocky, he's not afraid.
Well, he made a comment about 12 Gauge Pro Wrestling. He's been chasing the queen of the red carpet, Eden Monroe, future couple or match.
Eden, that's somebody else that I want to shout out, because Eden is one of the best up and coming stars right now at 12 Gauge Pro. But I've seen what she's been doing, and she better stay out of my way. I don't discriminate.
hey, Eden's a former guest here. That would be a welcome sight. Eden can, you know what? Eden's a great performer. I'll give her that.
Great performer.
Braden Toon, Walker is the man, one of the most slept on in the Southeast.
That means a lot coming from Braden. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Braden's he's either in Mexico right now or he just got back from Mexico. He is one of my favorite opponents that I've ever been in the ring with. So thank you, Braden. That means a lot that you say that. Much love, dude. Much love.
Right. Well, he's saying much love to you as well. So a lot of mutual respect right there. A lot better than one Rocky Shaw has been showing you tonight. But
hey, Braden Toon is world class himself too. I mean,
he is saying he is still in Mexico. 2 weeks left.
Yep, he's in Mexico right now. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, man. I appreciate that.
Hey, also, Braden, doors open for you anytime you want to come. Door always open for you to come and sit down with us too.
One more quick comment, then turn it back over to Randy. 12 Gauge Pro Wrestling, Toon versus Walker 13 and 12 Gauge need to happen.
I'm game any day of the week.
I think you're game for anything, Walker 13. I don't think you'd back down from anybody.
Not at all.
Hey, there was some great photos of you and Toon in the ring on one of your socials, and then you talked about him as opponent. What's Brendan Toon in the ring like, Walker?
The best way that I could describe it is if you had a gorilla that was also a gymnast that was trying to kill you. No, because that man. Have you seen the flips that he can do?
I have.
The man is like 6'2", like 240 pounds, and he can do a running shooting star press. Like that is it. You don't. There's not a lot of ways that you can prepare to defend against somebody like him, because as soon as you pick up on his agility and his acrobatics, then he starts throwing strikes, and those strikes are, if you're not careful, you can get knocked out by one of them. So, yeah, Braden is. There's no way to prepare for that, you know.
Two quick comments, real quick. Braden Toon response to the schedule said, "Let's do it. Schedule is free. Coming back from Mexico." And I think we got a challenger for you right here, right now.
Look, we have.
Oh no!
Oh,
You guys are evil.
Jesus.
Now, that's a whole bunch of crazy in one picture. Didn't you say there?
Oh shit! Take it down, please.
Walker 13 is speechless for the first time tonight.
We're all speechless. Hey, I just got the funniest comment I've had in a long time. Text to me. It said, "Randall's 340 and could do 3 shooting stars, but that's the burger at Hardee's."
That's true.
Come on, folks, leave me alone. I'm a fat kid. I like to eat. Hey,
That's a starting order at Waffle House.
Yeah. Don't even talk about that. Walker 13, sir. We've been through your music too. Who are some of your favorite bands that are out there too?
Spirit Box, I would say, is number one right now. I love Spirit Box. Sleep Token is another good one that I really like a lot.
Sleep Token too. I'm with you on that one.
Oh, that new album they just came out with. I don't think I've stopped listening to it since it came out.
Yeah.
Let's see. Got to go with the classics: Pantera, Metallica, Rammstein. I like Rammstein a lot. Ozzy, obviously Ozzy. You know, I've been listening to a lot of Ozzy, especially lately. So yeah, that's about all I can think of right now.
That's killer. That's my list too. So I'm a too. I love Maiden. Hey, the other thing, Walker 13, I wanted to ask you. On your socials, it talks about a little bit of an acting career too. Is that something that you have gotten into pre-wrestling or post-wrestling that you started doing some? And I know where you're acting at, probably scaring kids, but we'll talk about that later. But when did you get into the acting?
Well, this is something I don't think I've really told anybody on any kind of podcast or anything, but I was a theater kid in high school.
Nice.
I was a theater kid. Probably part of the reason I got picked on so much. But yeah, I was a theater kid. I work at a place called Wicked Ways Haunted House in Memphis. Big shout out to Wicked Ways. I've been there this will be my 3rd year, coming up on my 3rd year. And I just love scaring people. You know this. And when I can just be myself and make it happen, it's the best feeling in the world.
Don't scare me, please. Actually surprised he hadn't jumped on. One of our regulars, we call him the 4th member of the podcast, is Josh Turner, better known as TKO in the wrestling world, who was on what was the name of that show?
The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead for about 7 seasons. So
oh wow.
So you know, we have some experience with actor wrestlers around our podcast.
That's awesome.
I think it's cool that you do that. And do you think that helps your presentation inside the ring, having that acting background? Because I think it's great.
100%, because you can carry things from different what's the word I'm looking for?
Genres?
Different genres and different avenues. You can take a little bit of everything. Like wrestling has helped me in the haunted house as well. You know, it's you can take a little bit of everything and implement it everywhere. And I will definitely say, since I've worked at the haunted house, it's been a lot easier for me to truly express who I am as a person out there, and really put my full self forward. So there's that, and you know, just there's theater in everything, in the world, and you know, in wrestling there's theatrics, in music there's theatrics, and finding the common thread between everything is something that I'm very fascinated by and intrigued by, you know, in general. So absolutely, I would say absolutely, I find the common thread.
And you don't have to limit yourself to one genre. We're every night but Thursday, we're a sports broadcast network. We do high school sports, college sports. Thursday night is dedicated to pro wrestling and indie wrestling especially. So I find it's great that you do open up your doors. You usually don't go to the same spot for news on the Alabama Crimson Tide and your latest pro wrestling news, but it works for us. And I think it's the same. When you find that mix that works for you, you go with it. And if that's acting, wrestling, music, that's a heck of a combination to build a career off of.
That and horror has its own world too. There's a convention coming up in Memphis called Memphis Monster Con, where it's like a bunch of horror themed vendors, and they have actors from horror movies. Like, it's horror is its own genre now of everything, conventions, pop culture, all that. So yeah, there's really three things, like horror, acting, and wrestling, all three wrapped into one. You know, that's the beauty of it. That's what I love about it.
Well, you're going to be the first one in line for that horror con, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You may or may not see me appear as a guest, as a vendor there. Maybe. Still working on that.
One last question, and then I'll turn it over to Joseph, who will ask you real wrestling questions that I want. By the way, this might be the most star-studded show that we've ever had. Brandon Toon, Walker, Rocky. I mean, come on, folks. You can't get no better than that. Walker 13, what, you know, you're young in your career. You've established it 214. You've 10 years in. Plenty of time to go. You've talked about Christopher Parks. I think Christopher Parks in Abyss, it's the first time that light went off in my head. I do see Abyss in you.
Thank you. That means the world to me. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I just never put it together. I kept thinking, and I kept trying to come up with it, but where do you want to go with your career over the next 5 or 6 years? And I'm not talking, you know, everybody wants to be with a big company making a big check or whatever, but where intellectually do you want to go with your Walker 13 and build upon what you're already doing with it?
That's a great question. I would honestly like to be a beacon for the wrestling world and the horror world to converge a little bit more. You know, be a good crossover for that. You know, to appear at horror conventions, to, you know, interview horror influencers on social media, and also, you know, get in the ring and do what I do in the ring and just be able to mix the two.
There is a huge social media network waiting for you to start it in that very area. I think it would be awesome. I don't know if you're doing it yet, but I would be your first follower. The monster that interviews monsters. I think that is a great ideal. Joseph, I'm still scared of him, but you can take him now. I've survived through the interview, so
far it's still not over with.
I'm smelling.
There's still plenty of time.
I'm smelling pizza, and you know I'm a fat kid. So,
well, Walker, you know, we've done a lot of talking about 12 gauge. We've done a lot of talking about 901. We've done a lot of talking about Middleton, and we've done a lot of talking about your dream match, who you'd like to be in a dream match with. Is there you know, I kind of threw it out there. I threw out the Monsters Ball a minute ago, but is there a specific match that you would love to have in the future with anybody?
you know what, this may be a bit of a vanilla answer, but a steel cage match. I've never been in a steel cage match, but I would love to be in a steel cage match. That and a casket match.
How did I know that was coming?
The casket was definitely coming. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Of time before the casket was coming out.
I'd like to put Ryan Marks in a casket, that's for sure.
It's not going to be one of those buckle up Teddy moments, is it?
Maybe. It depends on how I'm feeling that night, to be honest with you.
Well, that's awesome. I can't think of a better match, to be honest with you, especially the casket match. That's one of the things that's really lost in professional wrestling. We've had a couple within the past year. You know, Exodus Pro, we were up at Exodus Pro. They did one with EC3 and Richard Holiday. EC3 ended up winning that match. They also did a casket match that we got to see live, all three of us, at Wrestling for a Cause Chattanooga, which might be a great place for you to get in with Sir William and the boys if you're ever available for them. We'll pitch that to them a little bit later. But we got to see one there, and you know, we've seen a couple of them, but I'd like to see it go to that next level, that WWE production level. Now, we're kind of missing that. We're missing the dirt. We're missing burying people. We're missing throwing them in the ground. And I know you know exactly what I'm talking about, especially being theater and drama kid. You can add all sorts of theatrics to it to make it that sort of match for you. So I think that would be a great match for you, Walker. And then my second question for you is, which Randy kind of stole it a little bit. He asked, where were you going to be in 5 years? And I want to know, what do you see yourself doing in 5 years in the wrestling business? I mean, do you see yourself being with a big company, being a champion for a big company? Do you see yourself just trying to help people, teaching people, training people? Where do you want to go as far as your career goes?
Sorry, my phone is going absolutely
That's all right.
haywire right now.
You're getting
You're popular.
I guess. In all honesty, I would like to be in a spot where I can take convention appearances as well as wrestling shows. And Randy kind of stole your thunder on that question a little bit. But yeah, so I would like to. What I have to be doing in 5 years? That is a little bit of a different question. I would say just traveling more and taking bookings everywhere. You know, I would like to go to Kansas. I would like to go to New York. You know, I've wrestled in California once, but I'd like to go back there. You know, just doing that and just really, really leaning into the horror element more so than I am right now. You know, leaning more so into the horror world than I am right now.
Well, with leaning into the horror market, you know, Randy really did hit that earlier. He said that there's a social media market that's waiting to be tapped into and waiting to be developed. And he's absolutely right. We know that the Shiners convention is coming up as well in Knoxville, Tennessee, that sort of area. And we know that you would love to be doing stuff like that. When those times are available for you to do horror cons and metro cons, how easy is it going to be to approach Walker 13?
You know, I feel like I'm a pretty approachable guy, all things considered. I've never, you know, in an environment like that, when I'm not in between ring posts and ring ropes, it's a little bit different. You know, I'm always open to talk to anybody, to shake hands, to have a conversation. I'm really not I would like to think I'm not as weird as I seem, but you know, it's just my opinion. You know, you guys could tell me better than I could. But yeah. What's that?
I'm still a little scared of you, but no, you're not.
It's okay. I don't blame you. I understand. It's a lot to take in sometimes. But yeah, no, if anybody sees me out in public anywhere and wants to come say hi or take a picture or whatever, feel absolutely free. And this is where I'm gonna say this very carefully. This is where the art separates from the artist. I love when people come up and talk to me because it doesn't happen very often, you know, but if you see me and you recognize me, absolutely, please come say hi. I will take all the selfies. I will sign anything you want me to sign. You know, we're going to be besties. So, yeah.
Well, it's a very interesting situation because in professional wrestling, you know, there's lots of promotions that still want to keep kayfabe alive. So how do you keep kayfabe alive and still be approachable as a person?
Well, you know, I think I said this before earlier. You know, everything that I put out is me, is genuinely me. It's a part of me that I've always had. It only looks different than how you would imagine it would look. You know, like um, I wear black every day. You know, I most of my wardrobe is just black band T-shirts and black jeans and black shoes and leather and stuff. I mean, I think that the term for me, the term kayfabe is a little bit loose because when I go out there, I'm just an extension of myself. You know, the only thing that's different is these. But it's just me with the volume turned up. You know, I love. You know, I'm. What's the old phrase? Uh, you are more than the sum of your parts. You know, and I think that applies to any, and I think any wrestler could say the same thing. Is it when they go out there, it's not their. I'm not. I don't feel like I'm playing a character out there. I feel like I'm just conveying my emotions in a somewhat healthy way.
That is what makes you great at what you do too. That
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
that is, we've got a jackwagon coming on next week, and Carson Drake, and Carson's a jackwagon 24/7.
A
So
jackwagon.
yeah,
He's
I
a
love that.
champion of champions.
yeah, I'll jump on that later. But yeah, I feel like Carson is just Carson. I feel like Walker 13 is Walker 13. There is no character to it. It is who you are. And you've been nothing but professional and nice to us too, also. And I want to thank you for that.
Of course, I'm very appreciative that you guys had me on the show. Um, you seem a little bit scared. You still seem like you're scared though.
A little bit, and yeah, he's probably tagging him already, starting on me next week. So I'm a little scared of you because I'm afraid of monsters. I'm scared of Carson Drake because I will call him a jackwagon. So
Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. Carson Drake has never stood in the ring with Walker 13.
I
That's all I'm saying.
think I'd
That's
like
all I'm saying.
to see it. I also think I'd like to see you up north, up in the Knoxville region with Mr. KC Kazana. I think that would Mr. AJ Kazana. AJ's about 6'2", about 300 pounds. I think you two, NWA JCP, would tear the house down in a physical confrontation.
I would love it. And like I said, I'm always down any day of the week. The bigger they come, the more tiny pieces I can chop them into.
Yeah.
Told you he was a serial killer.
Yeah.
I didn't admit to anything. This is merely speculation. However, do with that information what you will.
Randy, show them what monster you always like. The only monster that you like, Randy. Show them the only monster you like.
Oh, yeah. This not a sponsor.
That's the only monster he likes.
But as many of these as I drink, they need to own our station. So
I like those too. I like those a lot too.
Hey, and Walker 13, you're welcome back anytime. We'll get you back on. You're part of the family now. Anything you got to promote, you send it to us. We'll promote it, and we'll bug you to death to come on the show and scare us.
Hey, I'm honored that I was chosen to be on this show, and anytime you'll have me, I'll be here. I appreciate it.
Walker 13, a couple closing questions, and then we'll let you get out here. We appreciate your time. Reiterate what Randy has said, and Joseph was agreeing to it as well. You're welcome on here anytime. Question: Waffle House. What's your go-to meal after a match at the Waffle House?
All right.
I didn't think he was going to ask the monster that question, Joseph.
So here's what I'm doing. I'm doing a chocolate chip waffle. I'm doing a side order of bacon, and then hash browns nothing on the hash browns. I just put ketchup in them and stir them up and eat them.
You are a monster.
Oh yeah.
It's the same thing as French fries, except for breakfast. What do you mean?
That hash brown, that's my hash browns right there too. You don't need all the stuff in it. Just a little ketchup, smear it around, chase them around the plate. If they run into the eggs every now and then, all right.
That's fine by me. I like ketchup on my eggs sometimes too.
Hey, Howie, 12 Gauge said he eats the waitress.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I wasn't actually going to put that up there, but
Again, merely speculation.
Take with
I've not been found guilty of that one yet.
last question of the night, and then we'll let you go. And it's something I just enjoy asking people. In high school, I guess I played basketball. I guess you consider me an athlete. You said you wasn't. You was, I'd much rather be in the musicals and everything that in high school like you was and playing basketball. I wouldn't be hurting every time I stood up because my knees killing me and all that. But anyway, superstition wise, going into the ring, do you have any superstitions or rituals you have to do?
It depends on, honestly, I should do this more, but if it's a big match, I usually pray before the match. If I have I usually just follow my gut, man. If I have a bad feeling about something, I don't do it. And those bad feelings can range from if I'm thinking about something that I'm going to do in the match, and I get sometimes I'll get like a weird chill. I'm like, okay, well, I need to cut that. I need to do something different, It hasn't failed me yet. So, good Lord willing, I'm going to keep following those. Mostly just following intuition and definitely praying before certain matches for sure.
Man.
Good answer.
Absolutely. Do nothing. Can't go wrong with that.
Hey, and I feel like I need to go pray over a plate of hash browns right now too.
Thought you had pizza.
Here's.
I think the pizza can wait till the hash browns come. I'll be at Waffle. It's how you get 340 and maintain it.
I tell you, something. We go watch wrestling. Not as much as we want to, but we go occasionally. Me and Randy will meet up. We'll go, and as soon as it's over with, we head to the Waffle House to eat.
Every single time.
Most of the time, that's all that's open.
Hey,
yeah.
Is there anything that is more meant to be together than pro wrestling and the Waffle House? I mean,
I can't think of anything.
That's the perfect match,
Yep, absolutely. And you mentioned something earlier, and you mentioned it. It's on tape or video or World Wide Web. Everybody saw it. When River City Media goes down to the 12 Gauge promotion to watch a match of yours and watch a night of cards, we want pictures with you. You already said you'd do it, so it's out there.
Absolutely.
So I can't speak for the other two, but I will make it over to the 12 Gauge as soon as possible.
It's going to make me look small. Of course, I'm going to have a picture made with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Walker 13, the Memphis made monster. Thank you for your time tonight, man. We appreciate it.
And we'll have him back this winter sometime. I'm sure we'll get a hold of him again. And you don't get away from us. Once you book here once, you got to come back the second time.
Anytime at all.
We let you punch Joseph too once for that picture.
Come on. Hey guys, real quick before we go, I want to wish a happy birthday to Tony Givens out of Lord, my mind just went blank. Imperial Pro Wrestling, and also he works with the boys up in Kingsport, Tennessee. He's a great promoter up there. Great guy. Appreciate him for everything that he's done for us here with Wrestle Talk with the Rabid Beaver. And he also has put us over with River City Media several times. So thank you, Tony Givens, for being here, and happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
As if we didn't mention, next week, come listen to Carson Bartholomew Drake, the new NWA Southern Heavyweight Champion.
Walker, before we let you go, any shout outs you'd like to give?
The only thing that I'd like to say is that no matter what you do, no matter what road you go down, no matter what corner that you turn, never ever forget that monsters are real.
Hey, I ain't saying nothing else on that. For QB1, Rabid Beaver, Howard Chaney, for Walker 13, the Memphis made monster. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching. Go follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you. Good night.